afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you may be, where you're joining us today. The topic, as you know, is about fraud awareness training for our women folks, but it's also, useful for our men to know as well about what is happening out there. So for the topics that I want to look at, let me make it a presentation mode so that we can enjoy the topic. Before I go to the agenda, just to remind every one of us, this is done in conjunction with Unshackled Duma. Unshackled Duma, it's about, I don't know if anybody's from Unshackled Duma here with us that can talk about Unshackled Duma.
No, I can't.
Okay, all right, not yet. Okay, Unshackled Duma is a charity-based organization on women. They are looking at effect of FGM on women and how to stop this practice, particularly in cultures where this is happening at the moment. And when they come in, I will ask them to talk more about it. But Preferred Consult is an organization that is out there educating people about different kind of things that you can experience in terms of fraud relating to cybersecurity or scams, if you like. So today, this is the agenda we're going to be looking at. We'll look at the overview, why over 50 women, and why are they being affected, and what are the facts that we have out there, and what are the types of fraud they are exposed to, and how to prevent yourself being exposed to this. And these are the things we want to look at today. So I want to start with the overview. Women over 50, we have seen that the statistics increasing, showing us that they are really exposed to different kind of fraud on the internet. If you haven't seen The Beekeeper, is a movie released recently, and the main actor in that is Jason Statham, if you watch movies very well. So there was a woman in that movie that is in charge of a charity organization. She's in charge of finance. And because she was browsing on the internet, these tech-based scams, she was scammed. And because she has access to this account, she thought she has problem on her computer. And before you know it, she was directed onto many places until where she has to give up details relating to the charity-based account. And several thousands of dollars were released to the scammers. And these are examples of what people are experiencing, particularly women. So they are increasingly targeted by online fraud due to their factors like unfamiliarity with new technologies, maybe use of social media, use of computer, laptop, mobile phone, and the likes. And they have this high likelihood of having financial stability, maybe money they've saved over time, having in their account, or maybe some of them are retired, they have pension coming in, and some of them are grandparents, they have people sending money to them for their upkeeps. So cyber criminals are aware of this, so they exploit their emotional, financial, and technical vulnerabilities to perpetrate various scams. So if you know somebody that is above 50, or you yourself are above 50, you can easily relate with what I have mentioned here, because our women folks, they want to help, they want to assist, and by nature, because they want to do this, they want to give out money to assist people when they are in trouble. So because the criminals know they are susceptible to this, they are easy target for them. So understanding the types of frauds and how to avoid them is essential to protecting oneself. So that is why we put this together in conjunction with the Mayor of Sodok to, educate our women folk above 50 and our men folks too. Some of them are susceptible to this attack. And this topic is for both of us. So if you are here, you're a man, take the knowledge, take it home, and discuss it with your spouse or your relative that you know are susceptible to this attacks. I can tell you for a fact, I know somebody that is less than even 30 that was exposed to Royal Mail-based scam. They sent her an email saying that they missed her, and if she wants her parcel to be redelivered, she needs to go to a particular link. She clicked on it and supplied her details, and before you know it, they even directed her to transfer or send the money to another account. And many things happened. She sent the money to that account, and that's how voila, everything was emptied from her account. So this is the reason why we are talking about this topic today. So why? First thing we want to talk about is financial stability. Our women folk above 50, like I mentioned before, they have stable income sources. They have saved over times. They have retirement funds. They are making them attractive targets for financial scams. Because of this, they know once they can get your details. And that is why I want people, when you go on the internet, they send you links. They tell you there's this legit somewhere or something mouth-watering that you want to be a part of. Or they say there's somebody in trouble. They have been going through this trouble and they cannot get money to treat themselves. And they tell you to click on the link to support that cause. We need to be very careful. You go in there, put in your account details, tell you to log in with your password, because they give you a link that looks like your actual bank. And that is how you supplied your details. And before you know it, they empty whatever you have in your account. And if you want to know what I'm saying, whether it's correct or not, check online a link called Have You Been Pawned? Have You Been Pawned is an internet-based website that has details about websites that have actually scammed people, their details on different databases. And from there, you can check whether you have been hacked or not. Another one is they perceive this group as having accumulated wealth, especially if they are empty nesters or retirees. So what it means is that they have saved money over times. They are collecting pension because this money is coming into their accounts. So they have a lot to dole out. So they are targeted for these reasons. And some of them, you see them working in charity organization, and they've been working there for a long time. They become trustees that have access to a lot of money that they can easily target them. So another one is their familiarity with technology is in doubt, is shaky. Because of this age group, they may not have grown up with digital technology, use of mobile phone, tablets, laptops, or what have you. Some of them, you see them going to cyber cafes to use internet. They don't even have computer at home. And this is why they are susceptible to this kind of attacks. There are lots of these criminals waiting on the internet for this type of people. And so many reasons they easily fall for this. And this message, they bear a semblance of urgency, and because they tell them to do something urgently, they just follow along easily. Click. They supply their details, supply their home address, supply their bank account, supply their card details, even the PIN as well. And before you know it, their accounts are emptied. So some of them are tech savvy, but vulnerable to sophisticated online scams that exploit lack of familiarity with cybersecurity practices. Like I mentioned to you, that movie, Beekeeper, the lady knows how to use the computer, and this tech scam, which I'm going to talk about later, told her that she's having a problem on her computer, and for her to, I don't know if everybody knows what we call BSD here, blue screen of death. Your system, you click a particular link and it gives you blue screen, and it looks like your computer has died on you. And you see a message telling you that for you to resolve this issue, call this line or send them an email. And by the time you do that, you have supplied them your details that they are looking for to actually take an advantage of your weakness. So these are the things we need to look out for. Once we look out for them, if you're a computer user, sense of urgency comes in their messages. They tell you to click on the link, supply your details, somebody is dying, all those kind of things that they'll be mentioned. So you just to be careful, because if you are in doubt, like I say to everybody, if you are in doubt, call the particular organization, call your bank, or whatever name they're claiming to be supplying the information from. That is the best way to avoid scams. So if you think you're tech savvy, that is what you need to do next. Then the next thing is trusting nature and empathy. Like I mentioned before, our women folk above 50, even below 50, they themselves, they can still fall for this. Even our men folks as well. You want to help. And you'll be thinking, yes, the person is in trouble. shouldn't I help? Why can't I help? I have the means to help this person. Why shouldn't I help the person? So older women are often perceived as more trusting and empathetic, making them susceptible to frauds like romance scams, charity scams, or family emergency. Like I mentioned, nowadays you see people on the WhatsApp group. They'll call them and tell them there is a meeting ongoing and they want you to join this meeting. For you to join this meeting, you have to do XYZ. Before you know it, voila, they've taken hold of your account. And once they take hold of your account, what would they do? They start messaging people, telling them that you are in trouble, you need to be bailed out, you need to pay a certain amount of money. And these are the things that they do. And before you know it, you fall for their antics, and then they start telling people. From experience, I've seen somebody messaging me, telling me, somebody that is a sage above 90, that the man is in trouble and he needs money. He needs about 400,000 naira. And because I know their MOs, I know what they are doing, I have to call the man and tell him this is what I'm seeing. So he has to message people that they should not fall for this kind of MOs from the fraudsters. Okay? So these are the reasons why we need to be vigilant whenever we get messages and know what we need to do next. Social isolation. For so many reasons, women folks above 50, maybe they're widows or they're divorcees, or for many reasons, they're living alone. Because of this social isolation, they are exposed to scams. They want to speak with people. They want to socialize. Some of them, they are looking for, a partner, and they fall for the romance scams, which take advantage of their innocence. And because of their seeking this companionship, and it's something that is urgent, this is rife on the internet. I don't need to dwell too much on it. Everybody knows what I'm speaking about here. And before you know it, they tell you to send money to them. If you are in doubt, confirm, call the number, do video call, and make sure you are talking to actual human being, the person that is claiming to be. Because sometimes somebody might have different accents, but they are putting different photo on the internet to represent them. So if you are using all these tools, all these apps on the internet, looking for a partner, you need to be double sure of whom you are chatting with. So these are ways in which you could be exposed to scams on the internet. Another one is less awareness of fraud schemes. There are too many fraud schemes out there that you need to be aware of. Although they are becoming increasingly aware, people above 50, that they may still be less familiar with newer forms of online fraud. So you can see I use a lighthouse there. Lighthouse creates awareness for sailors on the sea, for them to know they are going to the edges of the sea so that they don't cause accidents. So scams are consistently evolving, and it can be challenging to stay up to date on new methods. Scammers they're used to deceiving people. So if they're used to deceiving people, you just need to up your game to make sure that you don't fall for their antics. They have different ways in which they can make you fall for their ways, their MOs, the ways they operate. And what are the ways? I've been mentioning it all the time. Just make sure that you confirm who is actually you are chatting with, that is the right person, so that you don't make mistake of chatting with somebody else. It is very important to be vigilant whenever you are communicating with people. Okay, fear of appearing uninformed. Some people want to, join the moving train, say, I want to be part of what is happening. All right, they get mobile phone, they get tablets, they get computer, they use internet in the public. For instance, I'll give you an example. You go to train station, you go to the hospital, you go to the library, or in the public spaces, you go to the airport, you are looking for free Wi-Fi. You just see a free Wi-Fi, you connected to it. You don't know which Wi-Fi you are connecting to. You have to be sure of which internet services you are connecting to at every time. If you go to any place, go to the reception and ask for the right Wi-Fi. Don't just assume, because assuming is the beginning of mistakes that we make. And before you know it, voila, you fall for the antics of the fraudster. So some older individuals may be less likely to seek help or verify information if they are concerned about appearing unaware or unsophisticated. This would expose them to things that they should have asked questions in the first instance, because this reluctance to ask questions can lead to trusting fraudulent messages, emails, or calls without verification. If in doubt, please call the organization. So since you have explored many ways in which our women folks, even our men folks, can fall into this trap from our scammers that are just lurking around on the internet, the next thing we want to look at what are the key statistics. Am I just saying this for to scare you, or am I just assuming this fact? But let's look at facts that are in support of what I've told you. Financial losses to online fraud. Let's take it as an example. In the UK alone, 1.2 billion was lost to fraud in 2022, with a significant portion of victims over the age of 50, so 50 plus. Action Fraud is an agency in the UK. They have reported that older adults typically lose more per scam due to larger financial reserves. They have financial reserves, and this disposable income that they've got, they're empathetic, like we mentioned before. They can easily say, okay, well, it doesn't matter, it's just £100. Let me just give it out. And you don't know how many £100 they have gathered together. They are given to a fraudster. The next one is UK finance data highlights that individuals over 50 again, they account for a substantial portion of reported fraud, with average losses per victim being higher compared to younger age groups. So it's to tell you that the younger age to the fall victims of these scams, but over 50 people, they fall more for this because of the highlighted reasons that I've mentioned before. Okay? Then, romance scams. I've mentioned this before. Romance scams in the UK, it has caused many devastating losses, especially among older women. In 2022 alone, Action Fraud reported that victims over 50, they lost nearly £20 million to romance scams, with the highest impact among women over 50. Women over 50 again. So these scams often target lonely, we talked about isolation before, isolated individuals, and involve fraudsters who build online relationships with victims over time. So they will just continually build upon whatever they have told you before, and gradually, they start asking for money because they say they have one problem or the other. The internet is rife with a lot of evidences of what I'm talking about. Go to YouTube, you can see a lot of romance scams videos showing us how people easily fall for this. Sometimes people lose their entire savings to romance scam. So we need to be vigilant. If not you, please tell a friend that they should be vigilant, because these are scams that they know they can easily get money from. Hush Puppy is one of the scammers that I can mention to you that they've used these ways. If you Google Hush Puppy, is a Nigerian scammer who was finally arrested in Dubai, or if I get it correctly, in the Middle East, and is now serving his jail time in America. So there are a lot of them. Some come from various parts of the world, and they're sitting on the internet and claiming they're from one place or the other. So romance scams, we need to be very careful for those that are looking for partners to settle with after being a widow or for one reason or the other. Another one is phishing and spoofing scams. The National Cybersecurity Center, who is an agency of government in the UK, they have reported that phishing and spoofing are among the top scams. And I'll explain what phishing and spoofing will be, to what they are to you in a nutshell. So, but what they are saying is top scams that are affecting older adults in the UK, that is phishing and spoofing. Nearly 55% of those over 50 report having received phishing messages in the past year. It's not just them. Everybody receives this. If you have a Gmail account, if you have a Yahoo account, or whatever account, you will see, check your spam emails. You see them, different emails, bearing a legitimate organization's name, maybe BT, for instance. And they're not what they said they are. So again, older adults are particularly targeted through fake emails or messages, impersonating government agencies, banks, of familiar companies, leading to stolen personal data and financial losses. I have a friend that he's an IT person, but sometimes some people are greedy. He was greedy to the extent that he received a lookalike email from HMRC and saying that he has an unclaimed money from HMRC. You should click on this link. And unfortunately for him, he was not in the UK doing contract outside the UK. He clicked on it, supplied his details, and he was scammed. So they may look like government agencies at times too. So we need to be vigilant and be ready to spot all these things whenever we are online. And as promised, phishing will be like an email. Like I mentioned, it looks like legitimate email from an organization. It will have that urgency tone telling you that you have to do this within XYZ period. It could be phishing. Phishing means it could be like voice message they send to you, smishing. It could be like a text message, smishing, phishing. Phishing is email that they will send to you. So you can have phishing, phishing, and smishing. So text message is smishing, voice message is phishing, phishing is email, like I mentioned before. Spoofing is taking somebody else's identity theft, and claiming to be somebody else to do this. And these days, they are now even using AI. So they're becoming more sophisticated in this attitude. So whenever you get any messages that is urging you to do something quickly, you have to check and check. Even in organization, they do this nowadays. They want to test the employee. They will do phishing campaign, send you email that is making you to click on a particular attachment. And if you do so, the first time, second time, the third time, you will face a panel, and they may even put you under suspension. So that is why organizations are taking this thing very seriously. Investment pension fraud. Again, I want to highlight something here. Human beings are generally greedy, because if you're not greedy, why would somebody tell you make a substantial amount of money within a particular short period, and you think that is possible, and you put in your money? So we need to curb our greed. That's the first thing we need to do. Because in 2022, pension scams in the UK resulted in significant losses, particularly impacting individuals over 50 who are close to or recently retired. Those people approaching their retirement, they need to be careful. You have been working for so many years, so you don't just allow something that looks mouth-watering under a few minutes to just take everything that you have saved in your life for a long time. Because the FCA, Financial Conduct Authority, estimates that older adults lost millions to fraudulent pension and investment schemes last year, which is 2023. Scammers often promise high returns on fake investment. In Nigeria, there was a time they were doing MMM, even talk about cryptocurrency and all these things. You need to be very careful. A lot of fraud. There was a guy who created crypto, and he went to India, claimed that he died. And they discovered that he's spending people's money, enjoying himself somewhere else. So all these things, you need to be very careful. Scammers, they will promise you high returns, and you think you are smart. Investment is something that you build over time. It's not something that happens as abracadabra. It's that you are putting your money in real estate or buying stocks and shares that you can trace easily. All these are the legitimate ways in which you can make money. Anything that gives you quick returns, it doesn't look real and right. So you have to be very, very careful. Online shopping and payment scams. This is another one. There are a lot of apps on the internet now, on mobile phones, for those of us that have turned our mobile phones to our bedroom where we live. We have to be very careful. We shop online. Online scams are rife, including fake e-commerce websites and various ads on the website, maybe you're on Facebook. It will come as a surprise to you. The scammers today use the same tool that legitimate organizations are using. And the losses have been estimated to be over £60 million in 2022, according to Action Fraud. Because older women are often targeted, especially during holiday shopping seasons or sales events. Very soon, you'll be talking about sales of various kinds. You need to be very careful whenever we are going to all these websites to take benefit of these sales. Go to the right website, the legitimate website. If it doesn't look like the real website, do not do anything with it. If you receive any email, click on the email, the sender message. You will see the true nature of the email, the bearer of that email. You'll be surprised. Gmail is the most popular Gmail account that people have. And on it, that is where you have a lot of scammers resident these days. Because they know, because they once asked a thief, why did you rob a bank? He said, well, that is where the money is. And if you ask scammers, why do they scam people online? That is where everybody goes. So these days, we have to be very careful, particularly on e-commerce. Payment scams, particularly authorized push payments that you just press pay easily, you have to be very careful because the account they are supplying to you, they are not the real account. They just use that to move money. Somebody is sitting there looking at the amount coming in and moving it to another account. And I want to tell you for a fact, if you want to buy anything online when you are unsure, but you think to a particular percentage, use your credit card because it's easy for them to claim the money back for you. For those that know how credit card works, you are insured and clearance takes some time too. So that is why it is easier for you to be secured against this kind of fraud. Use your credit card more often. Health and insurance scams. Above 50, like we said before, health-related scams have increasingly targeted older adults because they're getting old, the body is asking for extra care and all that, and you are looking for quick fixes because you are not able to get your prescription in the UK, you are looking for shortcuts, many ways where you can go to and say you want to get your medication from other means. Be careful. But especially during the time of health crisis, scammers often claim to represent healthcare providers or insurance companies, soliciting payment or personal information for fake services. Insurance fraud, because you need one insurance or the other, health insurance or what have you. As you are targeting this, there are scammers out there too, looking for opportunity to defraud you. And Office of National Statistics, they have noted that older individuals are what? They are sometimes targeted by scams, claiming to offer financial assistance or benefits. They will tell you if you sign up with us, you will get maybe a watch, you will get this or that, you get an iPad, you will get several things that they will promise you. All mouth-watering things will be promised to you. Okay, increased fraud reporting. In the UK, fraud reporting has risen with an increasing number of older adults becoming aware of common scams and seeking help, because over 60% of victims over the age of 50 reported online fraud. If you want to find a place to report this, Action Fraud is a place to report to. One time that I received such a message, because of by nature of what I do, I have to report to them that I didn't fall for it, but just for you to increase your database, please call them, let them know, because it could be that you are the first person to receive that kind of fraud. So that is why we need to call them. So we need to create this awareness, and they can use that to like create awareness for people to know about this. So resources like the Take 5 to Stop Fraud campaign and education initiative are helping to improve awareness for people in the community. So we need to make sure that we increasingly increase the knowledge of our people about fraud. So common types of fraud are the next thing that we want to look at. What are the common types? Well, you are not surprised. The romance scam is one of them. But what do they do? You go to dating apps, different kind of places. You go online. You say you are looking for a life partner and all that. So be careful, because the fraudsters, they are there they create fake profiles. They create pictures that looks clean. I mean, they can even clone people's voices these days. So you have to be very careful. There are many AIs out there that you can use to create people's voices. So you'll be surprised. You hear a voice like that of Obama, that of Trump, and many popular people. Even yourself, you can train AI to even speak like you. These tools are out there. They've gotten to that stage. People are using the same tool which people are using for good causes. They are using theirs for bad causes. So you need to be very careful. You have to be a step ahead. Make sure you're on the right dating app. Make sure it's a legit person and all that. Because even these days, people do fake licenses, fake passports. There are many stories on the internet that you can see to confirm what I've said to you. Because recently, some companies, notable cybersecurity organizations, hiring somebody from North Korea. So that is how bad the situation is. So that is why this training is creating awareness for everybody to be aware of different type of fraud that are out there, and making sure that we are protected against such an activities. Then we have charity and lottery scams. For those of us that believe in playing lottery, gambling and all that, there are a lot of scams out there too that people are exposed to. Scammers pose as charity workers. They claim they have victims in Gaza. They mention many causes that people can relate with. And before you know it, kaboom, you fall for their antics. And before you know it, they empty your account. Please not fall for these things. Make sure you confirm. If you're in doubt, if it looks like British Heart Foundation, call them. Any charity, you can call them and confirm their details before you make your contribution. Okay, tech support scam. I've mentioned Beekeeper's movie to you. If you haven't seen that, go and watch it. Just like this lady was sitting on the computer, that was how she was assisted, and she transferred the charity organization's money, entire wallet. She emptied it to the scammers. And this we see every time. It's not a fiction. It happens all the time. So we need to be very careful. If you're a trustee, you are entrusted with many things, do not make a mistake of emptying your organization's purses for the fraudulent guys. You see them traveling around, spending money anyhow because they did not work for it. Okay, grandparents, this is really endearing to my heart. Grandparents, they have a lot they have saved. So scammers, they can impersonate a family member and say particular person has been involved in an accident and cannot call you, is in a coma or this or that. They need this social amount because the person is a country whereby government does not take care of their health. They need you to send a certain amount of money. And before you know it, your grandparents, they are caring, they are emotional, they are sympathetic. They send this money. And before you know it, they also empty their account. So it is important for us to be aware of all these scams so that we don't fall for them. And in further class, we'll look at each of them and see how they happen and how to protect yourself. But let's look at how we can protect ourselves now in the interim before we go to the other sessions. Be skeptical of any unsolicited request. Like I mentioned to you, make sure if it doesn't quack like a dog, it's not a dog. Avoid responding to unsolicited emails, messages, phone calls. Don't click any link on your phone if you're not sure. In your email, if you're not sure, don't reply to it. Don't click any attachment. Sometimes you click an attachment, they download an application onto your laptop, and your laptop becomes a robot linking to another website where they will move all your money. Then never share personal information. I warn people a lot about this. Send you messages. Oh, this organization is recruiting. You cannot see the real website name, and it's looking at like one suspicious website name, and you click on it. You go there. It looks like Barclays. You started supplying your real details. They are collecting them, keeping them in record somewhere. That's what they are doing. So never share your personal information. Information is the new oil. They are selling them on the internet. Your signature, your name, your account number, everything. They are selling to some people that this person, fall for it. I can sell it. They can sell it for £20. And you know how many they sell this to? That's how they make money. Information is the new oil, like I mentioned. Okay, use strong password and multi-factor authentication. Authentication is key. Make your password long. This day, I'm saying long password. Don't try to bring somebody something that you cannot remember. Combine 2 or 3 words. Make your password long. Put a number into it. Put a special character. That is how simple it should be. Make it long. The longer it is, the longer it takes for it to be broken, because we have tools that we can also use to break password. After selecting that long password, use biometric, your fingerprints. Again, now use one-time password token. So multi-factor authentication, 3 things at least: your password, your biometric, and your token. These 3 things, make sure on your banking apps, everything that you use, make sure you use your biometric to make sure that third party cannot take hold of your account and then empty your hard-earned money. Okay, regularly monitor your finance. Check your account balance readily. If anything suspicious is happening, you can freeze it easily by calling your bank if you don't know how to do it on your app. Check your account regularly. If you can't use, use the app, use push notifications, send messages. That some banks have this telephone banking, that is what it's called. Review your bank statement and make sure you know what is there, and you can be sure of what is happening. And if you tell them you have a suspicious message going on into your account, tell them to freeze your account for you. That is very easy. Okay, verify before sending money. Verify you are speaking with a legitimate person before sending your money. Make sure the person is actually the person is claiming to be. They can use a profile picture. That is not enough. If required, tell them to do video call with you to be sure before you commit your hard-earned money. It's not easy to make money, so you shouldn't just throw it out like that. So I'll stop here because I've seen our mayor. She has joined us. We'll give her opportunity to speak with us. Madam Mayor, you're welcome. Before I take questions from people, you can unmute yourself, Madam Mayor.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so sorry for joining you a bit late. I was kind of like caught up in an emergency meeting. I am Councillor Naima Ali, and I'm the mayor of Sadak. And thank you so much, Saeed. It's so amazing. To be honest, I've learned so much for these few minutes that I have joined. And I want to say thank you to all of you who've attended this session. And when we discuss, it's always good to know where these kind of ideas are coming from and why Saeed is kind of offering this kind of training, or no, what I'll call it anyway. Saeed has always been the heart of the community, and we had a discussion about kind of helping our seniors. We are not seniors yet. I'm also almost in my 50s. So although I'm kind of like the mayor of Sadak, I'm also a bit behind, technologically critical, I'll call myself. I don't know everything about it. Sometimes I struggle with my social media, and I just thought maybe this is the time we should come together and protect a lot of our over 50s. And then this idea just came up that I approached Said and I said, why don't we provide a kind of free online training? Obviously, Said has done so much to put everything together. How many? It's almost like 2-3 months since he kind of like posted it on the LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, but bit of social media as well, and Eventbrite. Sometimes, like I say, we don't need to underestimate the number of. We don't need to have 50. I think we've got how many people here? 15. And hopefully next one, we might get like 2. Each one of you can come with one, or you can pass this message across to your loved ones, to your neighbors, to your friends. And this is how we can change and save our community and our, So thank you so much. It's an honor to have you around. A bit about myself. I was elected as one of the councillors back in 2022. I never ever wanted to be a politician, to be honest, but I hated to hear lots of suffering, seeing suffering, hearing suffering, and having worked with drug addicts and alcohol dependent. I have seen how much, they've gone through a lot and not understanding the system. And that is when I just said, I think I need to be at the table and be involved in decision-making process. And I pushed myself to be in politics. Last year I was appointed as mayor. And then this year I kind of like became the mayor of Sadak. And I've already attended over 150 events over the last 5 months. And that's why my brain is kind of like going round, like I said. But thank you so much. Tonight, at least I know I will sleep very well, knowing that at least 14 of our residents have benefited from this amazing training. And because saving one is like saving the whole of humanity. That's how I see it. Helping one is like helping the whole of humanity. So I hope by the end of the day or this evening, you will go and share everything that you've learned, and you will encourage more to join any future event and trainings or anything. You can Google my name, for example, Mayor of Sadak. If you need any kind of any support or anything, obviously, Said from Clifford Consult, he's doing a lot of training, not only cyber security as well, and many other things. So thank you so much for joining. I was in the kitchen cooking when I was talking, and all of a sudden I saw myself in like, I have to quickly switch off my camera. But here I am. I'm a mother and I do everything at the same time. But thank you so much, and I really appreciate your presence. Thanks.
Wow, thank you very much. Really appreciate your attendance, Mayor. It's a rare privilege to have Mayor attending such an event. So we really like your presence. I think what you have said is a good message. You said that everybody should go home and bring one person next time when they come, at least for the next session, because we have 6 sessions like this. We've done one today. And thank you very much. We really appreciate your presence with us. We want to take questions. I know you said you are cooking. Hope you remember to send us our own part of the food when it's ready. You're mute, by the way.
No, I will stay because honestly, I'm enjoying. I think the next 5 weeks, if I'm not committed or I'm less busy, I will definitely join. Yeah,
definitely.
I'll definitely join. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Then we have Haj Tayyib Orekoya. His hand is up. I think he has a question.
Yeah, not really a question, but first of all, to compliment and say thank you to the mayor to partner with this company to do this for us. And my advice will be that for the council and the company to the Pivot Council to continue doing this collaboration and possibly organize a face-to-face session in divisions of the borough so that people who are not opportune to join this sort of session at this time or because of their IT level could possibly come to a venue where there will be more interaction between participants and the presenter. I just want to commend the mayor, and make that suggestion. I hope you can take that on and discuss it with others if we can implement that. Thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
can I answer to that one? Thank you so much, Haj Al Tayyib. This is amazing because at the end of the day, online is good, but it's always good to have the opportunity to meet. Actually, I'm more than happy to provide a free venue where we can do a training, at least one off, just for all of us to come. But the venue can take up to 120 people in Tuli Street. For those who are from Sadak, I think it is possible. These kind of things, unless we say nobody will know. And I will kind of salute Pre-Force Consul. Definitely, I'm very keen to be working closely with you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. You're always there for us. Is there any other question from anyone? I can see Carol.
Yeah, the question I like to ask you, I've been a secretary of Furlough Lodge.
Say where it is.
I'm a secretary of a TRA, and I find some of these TRAs, there's a lot of fraud going on with the tenants' funding. Why is it when people report it to the council that they let it go and they don't go after the one who's done it and prosecute them or take them to court? Because this is going on with a lot of TRAs, and their people are getting away with it, walking around the streets. And remember, that money is paid out of their rent to join a tenants association. And I think that is an issue that needs to be addressed, and it's a priority.
I think that question is for the mayor, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. Carol, thank you so much for raising that. Unfortunately, with this training, we are not kind of like representing the council or kind of like respond to that. But what I might suggest, if you can invite or raise complaint to your councillors, or invite them to come to your TRA so that your voices can be heard collectively. So that at least it can be started from somewhere. Unfortunately, from what I know, the TRA is a separate entity from the council, although they are giving them the whole to use, but they don't have so much control. We have raised a lot of things around TRA. Like I said, as the mayor, I'm a kind of in a very neutral position. Whether you are coming from any background, any party or anything, I'm here treating everybody equally. As a councillor, if you are from my ward, for example, not Woolworth, Elephant and Castle area, not Woolworth, I'm more than happy for you to send an email to me. If you think like you don't know your councillor, you can get my email, send me, and then I will raise it, I will forward it to your councillors. But unfortunately, this platform is for us to learn more about fraud because we are all at risk. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor, for your response to that. Just to add to what you have said, Carol, it might look slow. The process is always looking slow to you because the police, they are doing their best to make sure they get these culprits, because some of them, you might think you know them, but you actually do not know them, because some of them might be perpetrating this fraud outside your borough. So that is why it might be difficult for you to see what the police are doing about this. But what I can tell you, once you have reported, like the mayor advised, also tell Action Fraud, tell them about this. They will give you a case number that you can follow up with always, so they can tell you the stage at which the effort they have made is. I think with that, we've safely answered your question, Carol. Are you happy about that?
I think Carol doesn't mean, I think from my understanding, Carol doesn't mean that this external fraud or something is something that is within happening. So it's something a bit different. But like I said, the best thing she can do is any fraud is not tolerated, if you know or you don't the person or not. But make sure you become a whistleblower. You be confident of bringing others or just raise complaint, because whatever that goes to the councillor or the council will be dealt with in one way or another. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Any other question from anyone? Somebody asked in the chat area. So we'll be having this session Wednesdays until the 5th of December. So please, you can just dot that in your calendar easily. Wednesdays until the 5th of December. So we have another person, Mr. Mahroof.
Sorry,
Oh,
just to make sure
sorry,
I
Fatima.
understand. Yeah, sorry, just to make sure I understand. Every Wednesday from
Yeah.
today till the 5th of December, right?
That's correct.
Every Wednesday. Okay, thank you very much.
And 5:30, that's what I've forgotten to say. 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the floor is yours.
Yeah,
Mr. Mahroof.
thank you, Freefort Consort for organizing this and the council. My question is really, apart from the action fraud, what other organization can one report, if one suspects an email to be, fraudulent, what other organization can we report to or call the attention to it? Because at the end of the day, it's equally important that, we're able to, the necessary, organization are able to pursue these fraudsters and so on.
Okay, that's a good question. Firstly, if you receive an email that is suspicious, maybe it's phishing, you can report to the police, because some people can handle such things well, and some people cannot. Report it to the police. They'll give you a case number. But actual fraud, because they deal with fraud, it comes together. They work with they actually police people too as well. So if you tell them, they will ask you various kind of questions. How did you get it? To easily get their modus of operation. Once they do that, they can circulate that across to reduce exposure from others. And the organization, if it's your bank, they look like, you need to tell your bank too. So these three things that I've told you, the fourth thing that you need to do is to block that email from coming into your account. You will block it. If you right click on majority of the emails, they can show you that you just right click to junk it or to block it so that it doesn't come to you anymore. So those four things are really good to be done to make yourself safe. Final one I want to say, if you see that email, if it looks like a dog, if it doesn't quack like a dog, do not click anything on it. If it's telling you click on this email, download this attachment, you don't want to fall victim in any way. Like the English proverb says, it's better to be safe than sorry. Even though it's better to be late than never, like they say. If you are late on your payment, you can explain to the organization. I once received something like that. I said, how am I sure you are the one sending it to me? I said, that's why I didn't click on the link. And they explained, and we settled it. So don't be afraid of, they are saying you're going to pay extra money. It's better to pay a late fee than to fall victim. I hope I've answered your question, sir.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome, sir. Any other question?
Think Toxi or Femi. I think it's on here.
Doctor, yes, the floor is yours, sir. Dr. Ogufemi.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, my mayor, for identifying me. Thank you. I appreciate that. I want to say congratulations to the both collaborators. This is a very massive topic in the society and by large in the community. My concern is most of these fraudulers, some of them are not based in UK. Some of them are based outside the United Kingdom. How do we identify them? And second question to the speaker is our youth. Some of our youth.
I think we lost him. We can't hear you anymore, doctor. If you are still hearing us, I think you've lost reception, but I could see you're driving. So we'll come back once you're able to get us again. Let's see. Thank you. Somebody said, okay, somebody's asking, that's a good question. Do we need to change all our passwords now? Google has a long list of say password, but there are many others. What do we do? Oh, okay. Like I mentioned, one of the tips there is that if you know you have a guessable password, because you don't have to be lazy about password. If you have a guessable password, change your password to passphrase. Passphrase, I want to say, I can say, I go to school. I'm just being lazy. I'm just giving you. It's a phrase. Make it a phrase. It's long. The longer it is, the better. Then put a special character. Maybe choose any number of yours. Put it somewhere. Change some of the character to all those special symbols. Just make it long. Something you can easily remember. A long password is better. So you don't have to keep changing your password all the time. Just make it long, because it takes a long time to crack a long password. Then make sure you have one-time password. Many of these organizations, they have it. Google has its own. Microsoft has its own. Authenticator, they call them. Download it, attach it to your email. Anytime you want to log in, put that authenticator. Or tell it to send you a text to your mobile phone, and that text, you see the OTP, you enter it. The securer your email, your account, the better for you. You might think we are bringing complexity into it. We are in that age and time where we need to be very careful of whatever that we do. And back to the question he asked before, how do we know them? It is not the work of you and I to know these fraudsters, because some people are paid to do that job. As long as you report them, you stay ahead of their game, you beat them at their game. Imagine, I'll give you an example, WhatsApp. Somebody called me and said, okay, you're on XYZ platform, and they're going to start this meeting at so time, and you need to give me a one-time password. If you have the time, you can be playing along, you know, but if I don't have the time, I just tell them, you're a fraudster, I don't have your time, just leave me alone. The same thing goes with your WhatsApp. Make sure the security side of it, make sure you put multi-level authentication there too. I mean, it's stressful, but it's good, because WhatsApp asks you frequently of your selected numbers. It will ask you for your OTP to put in, so that they make sure you are still the one using it. So you need this, and you can easily reclaim your account if you do so. So please, it is important we get this right. Somebody said he has a contribution. Make your contribution, sir. Mr. Razak, are you already? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Mr. Said. Thank you so much for inviting everyone for this program. Very lovely. And it's very, very good for our moms and dads and every one of us. My contribution regarding these fraudsters people, because I've been experienced of scam before. There's some scam. There's so many types of scams. There's so many types of formats they use for us. This one comes from cryptocurrency, especially from cryptocurrency. They will call you, say to you that you've been scammed before, and they are brokers. They want to get all your money back to you. They're also a scammer. They will collect all your details. They will ask you to contribute, to be sending money to them. You've been scammed. If anybody called you from America or from UK, from anywhere in the world, that they're brokers, that they've seen on their system, they use one name called FCX from America. Say the Mitopo, United States of American, they want to help you to get your money back. It's all forced. It's all fault. All of them are just there to take your money. They've done it to so many people. They've used it to scam so many people in this country. And I think what I think about our people in United Kingdom, we have the money. The money is our bank. Some people don't know how they can make their money work for them when they're sleeping. So that's why most of our people are believing them that if I invest with them, I put my money there, I can be able to get more money, which is not. This is going around too much now. cryptocurrency, I think they use much about cryptocurrency, and it's making so many people crazy that they lost their money on the cryptocurrencies. And if we report it to our banks, it will take 1 year for our banks to respond to any cryptocurrencies fraud. So we just need to be sit right properly. If you don't know anything about cryptocurrency, don't put your money there. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoins, Ethereum, these are the formats they use past in the year to scam a lot of people in the United Kingdom. If you report it to the bank don't want to help, they don't help on time. After 1 year, bank will send you a message. They want to hear about you, about your fraud case, that you need to tell us more after they've taken the money. And I don't think our banks in the United Kingdom stand up to this fraud, because when we open your bank with your bank, they will say FCS cover you for 85K. But I don't think the bank return the money back if they scam us. So we black people, or any one of us, we need to be very careful about cryptocurrency and so many other small scams around they use for us. Thank you, sir, Mr. Said.
Thank you very much. That's a very useful contribution. You know, like I said, any investment that you cannot be linked to a particular commodity, do not venture into it. And I can tell you there are some bodies who are helping people to reclaim their the money they lost due to free cryptocurrency or what have you. They used to announce them on LBC. If you listen to LBC, they may announce the company, they make their advert on that. So that's another thing I want to say. And because I was asked a question about where do you need to go when you want to report fraud, I just want to share on the screen, because of time, we just want to do this quickly. If you can still see my screen, you will see so many ways that you can report this kind of crime. You can report it through this, report a crime through Metropolitan Police. If you go down, you see you can use contact us of the police. You can use report a crime, incident, or suspicion. You can report it to the government too, central government. So there are many ways in which you can report crimes. So, but like the tips I gave you, just make sure you yourself, you don't fall victim in the first instance. So the best form of attack that I can give them is to defend yourself. Make sure you are aware of their MOs. That's why we're talking about them today. When they talk about this, just be a step ahead of them. Just tell them, no, I'll speak with my bank. Oh, you have a parcel? Okay, don't worry, I'll speak with the company. So they leave you alone. And they tell you, okay, your account has been exposed, has been scammed. Transfer your money to another account. Never do that. You are giving them opportunity to empty your wallet. Please never do that. And every email, just be on guard. Be suspicious. If you are not sure of the source of the email, do not click on anything at all. So please, and right-click on it, like I mentioned, send it to junk, to spam, or block it. I just block them. That's what I do. I receive it, you see, they say it's real mail, it's from BT. All those names that you never miss. They want you to, I received one recently from FedEx. I'm like, I'm not expecting anything from FedEx. So why do I need to click on this mail? I just blocked it. So that's what you need to do. Just stay ahead of the game. Don't fall victim at all. Tell a friend to tell a friend, so that we can all pass on this message so that we don't fall victim. Another question. Thank you so much. This has been
maybe you should allow Dr. Tokti, because he's back, I think.
Say it again.
Dr. Femi.
Okay, Dr. Ogunfemi, we lost you before. If you still want to continue.
No, that's my 2 questions. Thank you, my mayor. That's my 2 questions. I'm driving, but that's my 2 questions.
Okay. Did you hear me when I was answering the questions?
No, my network went off. Sorry.
Okay, the first one I said, we are not responsible for identifying the fraudsters, because you said some of them are not in the UK. Yes, you're right. And I can tell you for a fact, some of them will tell you, I am from Nigeria. They are not operating from Nigeria. Some will tell you, I am from South Africa. They are not in South Africa. Because you know we have VPN now. with VPN, I can mask where I'm coming from. That will look like I'm coming from, let's say, US, but I'm actually operating from the UK. But we working in cybersecurity, we know how to find them, right? We know how to find the real location where they are coming from. So the best thing for us is to report it to the authority, make sure we report to the company that we are dealing with, whether Barclays, HSBC, let them know what we have experienced, because we have people responsible for this. They will dig deeper and find where this is coming from, and they will work with the government. So on the youth, a lot of the youth too, they are exposed to this fraud. They are exposed to them. But because they don't have a lot of money in their account, they just learn from it and move forward. But our adults, senior citizens, they have money, they have saved it to their account. So that's why we are targeting them first, educate them the more. They are trustees for many charity organizations. They are responsible for their community and what have you. They are in a position of trust. So once they are educated, the community is protected, because you can see banks are closing their branches. They are moving to online. So this is the right time to tell everybody to be aware and be prepared for this type of fraud. Our youth too, they are catching up. And on cryptocurrency that earlier mentioned, cryptocurrency, like I mentioned, if you missed that, if any investment is not tied to any commodity, don't go into it. It doesn't make sense at all. It doesn't make any sense, because they say cryptocurrency, they call it different names, but you can't even pinpoint what they stand for. So that is why we need to double check and be ahead of the game every time we do all these kind of things. And we have another question here. Somebody has checked, have I been pawned? And 2 data breaches. Please, what do you advise? Yes. Thank you for going to have I been pawned. That's very good. You see that have I been pawned? That's those areas, those 2 areas, organizations where they have your data from. Go there and change your password. Take, for instance, if it's Gmail now, go to Gmail and change your password. And make sure you selected OTP, and to send you OTP, one-time password, to your mobile phone. That's the way you can beat them at their games. If not, a lot of us will just have our information in their database, and they'll be selling them at cheap prices to many people. Imagine if they're selling it $5 and 1 million people, 1,000 of them buys that kind of information. That's $5,000 they've made. That's how they make their money. So I hope we have enjoyed today's session. We have another hand up from Mr. Maruf Dean. Go, sir.
Yes, it's a follow-up question to what you just said just now.
Okay.
About setting your data, because ordinarily sometimes when you log on into your PC and you type in your password, sometimes Google will pop up and say, do you want this password to be saved in there, and so on. Would you advise us to do that? Because are you not sort of surrendering your own protection of your information to another organization, so to say? Would you advise us to do that?
Yeah, I advise you doing that. Okay, this is the reason. These days, you have so many passwords scattered everywhere. So we call them password vaults. And how to secure that, you would make sure that vault itself, I recommended a long password. You put that long password in that vault so that you have to log into it. Edge has it, Firefox has it. So that vault itself, it has a password that is very long, like I mentioned, and you put OTP as well. So any password that you now save into it, you can make it strong as you want it to be, that you don't even need to remember them, right? Because it is in that vault already. So anytime you go to that website, it automatically give it that password. Because you have already given a long password and OTP to that vault, keeping it for you, you are securer, because even the hackers cannot break into that one, because they have their encryption And how much do you even have that they will now concentrate their time on your own account alone? You understand me, sir? So that's what I'm trying to say, that you can use it, but make sure that vault itself, you put a password into it. You can see it with Edge, which we call Internet Explorer before. You see it with Firefox. You see it with Google Chrome. So they have them to help you manage your password, because they're trying to prevent you from trying to write down your password. Imagine I say my Gmail account, I put my email address, I put my password, write it down on a book. I now lose that book. That means everything about me have been lost, because I myself, I can't have access to them. But the only option that I have is to go to each of these websites and say reset password and change the password. You can see the process is cumbersome. So that is why if you have a vault, give that vault a password itself and make sure it's secure before you start saving your password into it. If not, make sure you have a very long password that you can continue to use and remember. So those are the two ways I'll advise.
Okay, thanks for that. The only other additional point I want to quickly make before you round up is, I know you talk a lot about the online, fraud, what have you. Another common one, which is quite frequent also, is phone scams.
Okay.
Especially, you getting calls. I'm speaking from experience as well. Especially getting calls asking you to upgrade, your phone is due for upgrade, etc., etc. I think people should be wary of that also, because there's a lot of scam going on. So it's not just online. It's also phone, scam and fraud is also quite prevalent. I just wanted to add that. Thanks.
Thank you very much for mentioning that, sir. The thing I want to reiterate, I mentioned we have phishing, which is start with P, but remember phishing, you are phishing from water. Then you have vishing. Vishing is what you just mentioned. Vishing with a V, that's phone call. They'll call you. And they are sounding like they're calling from legitimate organization. And I pray you not being the reason why your organization goes down, because they will use you to get legitimate information. Like I know Mayor now, they want to come through me. They'll call me, oh, I think I saw Mayor Naima on your LinkedIn profile. She has asked me to do XYZ. So they're using that trust that I have with her to come in and say, would you mind give me Carol's number? Because I've not been able to reach her. But because they mentioned her, I'm trusting the person immediately, and I want to give them Carol's number. So that is vision. You just need to take a step back. Well, I'm not permitted to give you that number, or even just tell them, I don't know the person you're talking about. Thank you. Bye-bye. Or they're calling you about your contract is expiring. No, thank you. If I'm ready to renew my contract, I will call the company myself. For those of us that have used Leica Mobile, use Labara, you see Leica is kind of linked to Carphone Warehouse one time, remember? And because of the nature of that business, they've transferred this information to some organization. So they call you sometime because you have moved your number, you kept your number, you move it to another provider. They say have the same number, they'll call you. They'll say, okay, they have this offer and all that. I just cut them off. Because if I need that service, I know where to go. Why call me in the first instance? Because I don't know what I'm dealing with. And I don't want to give you my card details on the phone. So I'd rather go to the website of that organization that I know is legitimate, or go to their shop and get my things done. And this brings me to something important that you have mentioned there. Any website you are looking at, look out for that padlock. I'll give you an example. I'll see one that I can show you, because it's good that you mentioned it, sir. Let me show my screen quickly. This is why it's good to make session interactive. Mayor, I really appreciate your time with us. I know you are busy in so many ways. Anyways, this is the padlock I said you should look out for if you look at my cursor. This is telling me, you can see verified by Google Trust Service. Look out for this shield and this padlock. If I click on this shield now, it tells me is having enhanced tracking protection. So it doesn't want any website to track me if I come to their website. If I click on this padlock, it shows me that this connection is secure. And why is it secure? Look at my my web address, HTTPS. Anything HTTP, I beg of you, do not go there. I mean, these details are too many, right? But if you are taking note of what I'm saying, you'll not fall victim of these things. HTTP means the website you are going to is not encrypted. Anything happening between you and that website, somebody in between can get the information. Just like somebody, I'm making a phone call, I'm calling somebody, I'm calling the mayor now. Somebody can tap our communication in between. So that is what this HTTPS is doing for us. It cannot allow an in-betweener to hear what we are saying, what is going on between me and this website. So look out for this padlock. Padlock is enough for you to know it's HTTPS. If it doesn't have this padlock, forget it. It is not secure. So it's saying connection is secure. And if you want to know more, you just click on that and you get more information about that. I hope that is taken. Any other question?
Thank you.
Mayor, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, because I know maybe we are running out of time now. I would just say thanks again. Something just came into my mind because we've got another 5 sessions coming. Maybe I might offer last session or a week after we finalize our 6th session. I will be happy for us to meet all in person at Tully Street. I will kind of try and find a room for us so that at least we can meet and have a good chat. I think it will be amazing. If you will be coming maybe every week over the next 6 weeks, 5 weeks coming, bring along others. The more we are, the better. And I will try my best to find a space for us to meet in person. That would be an amazing offer.
Thank you very much. Do we all promise the mayor that will be coming, because she's anchoring it on her attendance to make sure she'll get the number? Do we promise?
We need to work together. I think
Definitely.
Next week I will try and get 2 or 3. All of you, make sure you bring one. The more we are, then by the time we finalize. The other thing is, I was just looking at, I was just looking at International Fraud Awareness Week. I never knew there was anything like that. I was just looking, and it's between 17th and 23rd of November.
Yes.
So I think it will be amazing for us to use that opportunity also to show that we are doing this kind of online training, which I don't know if it has ever been done before. I've got no clue. But I think we can be leading by example, and we are the first team to start, hopefully, in Southwark, and we'll continue more. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah, let's work on that, Mayor, and then we'll see what we can do. Oh, Fatima unfortunately said she finishes by 5:30.
Yeah.
And we can move the time to favor you, depends on where you are, so we can delay the startup in Tully Street when we want to do it. Mayor, can we do that?
When is that?
She's saying she finishes at 5:30. She might not be able to.
No, we can do at least a bit, maybe, because usually if it is face to face and many people are coming from work, we can do 5 to 7.
Okay.
Yeah, or and anybody, maybe anybody who can join at 5:05 will be fine, rather than making it more, like 30 minutes. Or we can do a 6 to 8. So I need to make sure that will be okay. But hopefully next Wednesday, let me just check my diary if I will be able to join you, even if it will be for half an hour.
No problem.
Sorry. Yeah, continue, please. Yeah.
Thank you very
next
much.
Next Wednesday will be on the 6th.
So is there any other question from anyone since we are still here before we round up, because it's about time to close the curtain? If not, I want to start by appreciating our mayor. Honestly, I don't know where she gets her energy. if you ask her how many events she has attended physically, wow, is a very huge number. You can imagine she's supposed to be resting Saturday and Sunday. She still take time to visit events. So she's very tireless and indefatigable. And we appreciate you for being there, showing your faces and your presence rather anywhere you want to go. So thank you very much for blessing us with your presence here today. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. And the people that attended today, the audiences, we really appreciate you too as well. Thank you for joining. And like we have promised the mayor, we want to bring more people next Wednesday. 5:30 is the start time. And we appreciate every one of you. I don't want to start mentioning names so that I don't mispronounce your name. But you know, everybody here is important. Thank you for joining. So this, don't forget, is made possible by Unshackled Duma and Perpetrate Consult. And like I said to you, Unshackled Duma, they are a charity-based organization. I mean, making sure they are protecting our girls, our ladies, and try to abolish the practice of female genital mutilation. And I know this is a cause really endearing to our mayor's hearts. So please support the organization. The organizations Unshackled Duma will give more details as we go on. So Perpetrate Consult is helping them to sensitize our women above 50. And you can see our men folks here too. They are above 50 as well. So they have people they can also pass on this information to. So thank you all for joining. Really appreciate you. See you next Wednesday, 5:30. Don't be late and come with your friends and family.
Thanks everyone, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Thank you very much.